Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little different than what I usually do. The other day when I was out at Mike's place and we got that B-44 running, I brought home a few goodies from another little project he's working on himself out there. It's a Harley Sportster chopper anyway. I used to like choppers long ago. I was brought up in that culture. Everybody wanted something like that. And anyway, been there, done that. Built a few choppers. Got hurt real bad one time, and that was enough for me. I went back the other way. But I still like working on them now and then. And if somebody wanted me to build one for them, well, I probably would. It might be interesting, especially if they gave me free reign to do whatever I want. Anyway, that's beside the point. There is the axle. I had to bring that back because Mike found a nut for it, but the nut wouldn't screw onto the thread that I had cut. Because I didn't have a thread or a nut to screw onto it to make sure that the thread was exactly the right size. So anyway, I had to bring the axle back home and just chase the threads on that end there, so that nice stainless steel nut would go on the end of it. So that's ready to rock and roll. What else have I got in here? Oh, this case, yeah. He got us to help him take the timing case off the bike because he didn't want to lose the gears out of the out of the case or anything like that. And the more hands you have to keep the gears from falling out, the better you are. So anyway, this is the cover that was on it. And frankly, it's a nice cover. It's in better shape than the one we're going to put on as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, it had all the bushings in it and all new bushings too, right? So I took all the bushings out, and even the seal is still usable. So yeah, it's brand new stuff, right? So anyway, and the plastic do nothing, which is a breather, goes on there. And I got that out of there. But yeah, the other cover. Well, why does he want to use that? Well, guess what? That one's chrome. That's why he wants to use it, right? Yeah, it'll look good on the bike. Real good. It'll go with everything else that's chromed up on it. So, anyway, yeah, I had to take the old bushings out of there. And you can see they didn't take the old bushings out when they chromed the case. They just left them in. They chromed the bushings too. So the ones that were still in there had to come out. And I'm glad I had to take them out because there's a lot of crust and I guess it's aluminum oxide stuff down in there and even in this part of the thing. So I'll have to clean that all up before I go back out to Mike's. And I'm not going to put those bushings that I took out of that cover in this one until I make sure that I didn't damage the bores on them and that they will go on over the camshafts and everything like they should. I think they will, but I don't want to take a chance. I'll just wait till we get out to Mike's again and do it then. Oh, what was the other little project he had for me? Well, first I'll show you some of the other little stuff I do now and then. Like a fella from up in the valley, he's a guy in the local vintage club. He came up and he wanted me to put a new seal and a new patent plate in that timing cover from a 500 Triumph, and that new little indicator plate for the shifter, and a new steering lock in it. I did the bottom end for this engine for him last winter, I think. Anyway, he's slowly getting around to putting it back together, and I'm sure he will eventually. But that's all paid for, and he can come pick that up anytime he's up this way. So, yeah, getting back to this other thing. We had this device right here that's supposed to go on the end of the starter solenoid cover on this Sportster. Well, guess what? The one Mike bought didn't fit. So I thought I was going to have to machine one out of aluminum. But as you'll see in the next clip, I came up with another idea. let's have a look at that. Okay, on closer inspection, before I got to work on this job, I noticed, I might have to go down to one hand. Yeah, I can unscrew this one-handed. That little sleeve where the plunger fits in just simply screws into this cap right here. So I got to thinking, well, why can't I do that with this cap? So what I did was I made a little collar up that I'm going to fit right into here on the end of that. Tap that down in place with a little bit of acid core flux on it, or acid flux on it, and then just solder that in place with some radio solder, and then I can screw that sleeve right into there. Save me machining the whole bottom piece out. So let me grab my torch and my solder, and I'll get that together, and then I'll show you what I got when that's done. Okay, now I've got that nice little brass sleeve soldered into that cover. There's no way that's coming out unless the bike's catching on fire. And it is a chopper, so that might happen someday. Nah, just kidding. Use fuses. That's how you keep your bikes from burning. Alright. Now, with any luck, that little sleeve should just screw right into there. There we go. That's all set. And then the plunger that pushes in the solenoid just fits into there. Put that back on the machine, press the button, and the engine should start. So anyway, that was a lot easier than machining that whole piece out of aluminum and drilling the holes for it and all that stuff. This was definitely the simpler way to go. So if anybody wants to put one of these push button starters on your Harley and you can't get the kit to fit your bike, just use the old cover and do that with it. Work the treat. Okay, well, like I mentioned, that ought to work just fine. Solenoid pushes the plunger back out. I'm pretty much done with this this case. All I need to do is just get this over in the parts washer and clean all those bores out. Make sure I get all that old crusty stuff out of there. I'm not going to put the new bushings in until I make sure that they actually fit on the camshafts and all that good stuff before I put them back into this nice chrome cover here. So anyway, that's all I can do for now. Like I say, I'll wait till next time I'm over at Mike's place, and I'll get the bushings back in there and all that sort of stuff. That axle should work perfectly now since the nut screw's on there like it should. So I guess the next thing for me to do is get back to cleaning up the parts from the Norton, or maybe I'll go with the Royal Enfield and have a look what's underneath that primary cover. Charlie was telling me there were some odd things that he mentioned about the clutch and that sort of stuff, and also primary chain tensioner. There was something odd about that he was mentioning, so I ought to really pop that off, and have a look at that. Anyway, just a quick little peek at some of the other stuff I do now and then. And so anyhow, thanks for watching. I'll check you next time.